This video is about an idea we had concerning illuminating the dash of the 1930 Model A pickup truck. After we built the truck and got it all together, we were running the truck and we noticed that the dash, which is actually the gas tank, it's really beautiful, but when it's dark out, you really can't see it at all. The instrument cluster is not illuminated, so if you're driving in the evening or at night, you're not going to be able to see how much fuel you have left, or any of the meters, or even how fast you are going, because the speedometer is not illuminated. So the idea came with just illuminating the dash with some type of a lighting system that will just slightly or lightly illuminate the whole entire gas tank slash dash area. So we thought we would just do a LED light that we would put together. So I went out to Radio Shack, purchased 4 of these LED holders, which are right there. This is an LED holder. Okay, this holder is really unique because, it has a little spot here where you could place an LED, but it also has a mounting area with a screw behind it. So if you drill a little hole for this, about maybe 8 to 10 millimeter, haven't measured it yet, you can mount this discreetly under the dash and put an LED in there, and then you can illuminate it. So we're going to start out with 4 of these, and we also purchased these. Okay, this is about all that we want, is this little light illumination, and with 4 of these it'll just slightly illuminate. So we're going to start off with placing this LED inside of this holder. Now the holder comes apart. Okay, so inside this holder, on the back end of it, was this rubber grommet. This grommet had 2 holes in it, as you can see right there. 2 holes in it, and all we need to do is to just place this LED inside like this. You can see the other side, there's the LED, and then thread this grommet over the wires, sealing it. Okay, so here's what it looks like so far. We placed the grommet over the LED tail there, the 2, and then press this grommet into the holder. And now we have a nicely sealed LED. So it looks like this. Let's take a look at that right there. Okay, the next thing to do now is to come up with a wire harness and connect these. Now, since these are 3 watts each, well, I should say not 3 watts, I'm sorry, 3 volts each, we're going to have to do a series parallel circuit. So we're going to wire 2 of these together in a series, like this, and then we're going to wire them in parallel to run on 6 volts off the car. I wanted to mention one more thing, that on each LED there are 2 pigtails. This is where you're going to hook up your wiring. If you notice, one is slightly larger than the other, or longer than the other. The longer pigtail there is the positive, and the shorter one is the negative side of the LED. If you don't hook it up correctly, it's not going to work. So positive to the longer pigtail, and the negative lead or ground goes into the shorter one. The way it's going to be set up is both of these will be in a parallel series circuit, which then will be wired up into the ignition switch. So once you turn the ignition switch on, you'll have 6 volts supplied to these 2 circuits, illuminating the dash. Okay, the next big question was, how am I going to mount this on the dash, and how am I going to space the dash? The dash itself is about 42 inches. Center of the dash is where the instrument panel is, the instrument cluster. This is where we have the fuel gauge, the the speedometer, and the other gauges, and on and off switch, the ignition switch. With 21 inches being on center of the gas tank, I think the best position for each one of these will be to have one 5 inches off center to the left, 5 inches off center to the right of the instrument cluster. That should illuminate the instrument cluster, and then 10 inches from these in either direction. That should give us enough to illuminate the entire dash. So that's basically how we're going to space this out on our dash. Next step is to start soldering these some wires to these leads. Okay, so here is one completed circuit that we're going to install. As you can see, the green here signifies the positive side. This is going to go to the ground on the dash, and this yellow is the negative side of the circuit, and that's going to go to the ignition switch. And here is the other completed circuit. So now these two will be wired in parallel and wired into the chassis ground into the ignition switch. Okay, so this is the location of where we're going to install the LED lights. As you can see right now, there isn't any light in here. It's pretty dark, but this is where the instrument cluster is. Okay, so we're going to install a light here, here, one on this side, and then one on this side here. Here's what it looks like from behind the dash. Here's the areas. So we're going to put one here, and then one here, and then one more right here. So the first thing I have to do is just disassemble this LED holder. As you can see, there are mounting nuts and a lock washer. So I'm going to drill with this drill, which is about the size of the stem of the LED holder. Okay, now that I have these holes drilled, it is time to install this LED holder from the bottom, just like so. Okay, so that's what it looks like when all the LED holders, assemblies there, are mounted in. Okay, so this is our finished product. As you can see, it's pretty dark in here. Alright, but underneath the left side of the dash, right here, I installed a switch. Right in there. And what I need to do is just flip the switch, and my dash is illuminated. And so here's what it looks like under there. That's the little lights that we have there. Alright. Off and on. Nice and neat. I think it looks much better. Thanks for watching.